They need a box. All right, I'll try to speak loud. First, a little editorial comment. Today's scripture is a continuation of the Sermon on the Mount. And as I read it, I realized Jesus has some pretty harsh words in this passage. So I'm putting Pastor Dan on the spot and hoping he has a good explanation. From Matthew 5, chapter 5, verses 21 through 37. You have heard it said to those of ancient times, you shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say, you fool, you will be liable to the hell of fire. So when you are offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Truly I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to go into hell. It was also said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that anyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of unchastity, causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, you shall not swear falsely, but carry out the vows you have made to the Lord. But I say to you, do not swear at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let your word be yes, yes, or no, no. Anything more than this comes from the evil one.
This is the good news.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Well, I do have a good explanation, or at least I think I do. I guess I'll have to leave that up to you to judge. Here's a fun fact that we learned when we adopted Bill. The law, and he looks right up here. What? Talking about me? The law treats children as property of their parents. Right? That's how the law understands children, and that's sort of how it fits children into its way of thinking, as though they were possessions. And this is actually why if you go through custody hearings, one person has to have hearings in order to give up their rights to the kid. It's not that you have a right to be a parent, it's that you have a right to your property. And the state is going to take that away from you and give it to somebody else. Trust me, I have held this over Bill's head ever since. You belong to me, kid.
Just me.
We always joke because I was sick the day that we had the adoption ceremony. I had the flu, This is when swine flu was going around. And so, no kidding, my doctor quarantined me for 10 days. So I appeared for the court hearing via phone. And ever since, they hold over me that since I wasn't there, it's only Jen who adopted me. Well, I bring that whole thing up because for a long time, women were also treated as property, including, of course, in ancient Jewish society. Still today, in some branches of Judaism, the husband has to consent to a divorce in order for that person to be divorced, for the wife to be divorced in the religious sense. And some guys will withhold that as a way of torturing their ex-wife, because they're jerks. In Jesus' day, husbands could simply send their wives away. You just walk out into the public street and say, I divorce you, we're done. Since women couldn't own property, couldn't handle money in those days, this created an obvious problem. How are they supposed to support themselves? The husband has to bring in the money, so how are you going to stay alive if you're divorced? And the answer is that a lot of them remarry, which is what leads to Jesus' statement about divorce causing adultery. If you force your wife to marry another man to stay alive, you cause her to be unfaithful to the vows you made in your marriage. Except, of course, that she's already been unfaithful, in which those vows are broken anyway, and it's not your fault. To back things up even another step, Jesus argues that when men look at women with lust in their hearts, it leads to adultery, which leads to divorce, right? When you look at someone and you say, I'm going to, I don't know how to say this politely, we're going to have some fun together. That leads to adultery. That leads to divorce. Therefore, don't even think about it. You want to be a disciple of mine, don't even think about doing those things. Now you might ask about the women here. Don't they ever get ideas? Don't they ever want to get divorced? Don't they ever start affairs or decide to leave their husbands? Well, they might. But of course, in Jesus' day, that would have been a mighty risky proposition. You're leaving your source of economic security for who knows what. The choice is remarry if you can, hope that your family can take care of you, beg, or starve. Not too many women are going to be interested in that kind of proposition. So Jesus approaches women as vulnerable individuals needing protection in much the same way that we talk about children today. Right? Somebody has to take care of a kid because that kid presumably can't take care of himself or herself. In the same way, Jesus says, women can't really take care of themselves, so men, it is up to you to provide for them. Now, I realize that that's probably not a very satisfactory way of talking about women, right? It takes a lot of power away from you. I know that we have a lot of women out here who have jobs or have work and are kind of independent, right? But consider the principle. You take care of the people that you promise to take care of. That's really the Jewish way of thinking about a lot of these things in Jesus' day. The marriage covenant, those promises that you make to one another, aren't about completing one another or loving one another or even liking one another. You know, we have a lot of couples these days who get up and their vows are all about how we have this special relationship and we connect over Disney movies or music or whatever. And you're laughing because you've heard this, right? That's not what a marriage vow is about. It's a promise to be there for someone when they need you. And since sickness and old age don't last very long in Jesus' day, what that meant was primarily economic. I'm going to keep you alive when you can't keep yourself alive. So now we see what Jesus means when he talks about adultery and divorce. The law says that this is your obligation. This is what you are supposed to do. But I want you to go beyond and beyond to fulfill the spirit of the law, not just its letter. Now, please don't think that I am arguing against divorce per se. You know, I'm a pastor. I understand that things don't always work out. I would say maybe about half of the marriages that I've done, someone has been married before. And the last thing that we want is for people to remain in abusive situations simply because they think the church says you can't split. What I am against, because Jesus is against it, is simply throwing your partner away because you're tired of them or because they've become inconvenient. You're dragging me down, man. You're out of here. In an abstract sense, that principle runs through all of what we hear today from the Sermon on the Mount and what we're going to hear Jesus say next week as the sermon continues. God has made a deal with you. God has made a covenant with you to stick with you through thick or thin. I mean, there's the covenant that he makes with Noah, which is that you people are so sinful that I would be justified in wiping you all out from the face of the earth, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sustain humanity. And there's the covenant that he makes with Moses, which is that you people are sinful and perverse, and I would be justified in sending you back to slavery, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep you free, keep you independent. And there's the covenant that he makes in the time of Isaiah and Jeremiah, which is that even though you are being punished for your sins now in exile, there's going to be a faithful remnant of you. There's going to be at least a few of you who survive and continue your faith, and that covenant with me will continue. And there's the covenant that he makes in Jesus Christ, which is that even though you can't reach to God, even though because of your sins you fall short and die, I will be here for you, and I will bridge that gap, and you will live. Not just here, but in the next life, in the kingdom of God. And Jesus says you should honor that covenant. You should honor all of those covenants with God directly and by treating other people the same way. Again, this goes above and beyond the letter of the law. It's not just enough to avoid killing one another. That's just sort of the basic, right? Don't kill one another. Don't be violent to one another. Don't even get angry with one another. Right? And if you're angry, make up for it. Don't use abusive language. This one's hard for me. If you have a beef with someone, drop everything and go work it out with them. Even the most important thing in the world. For Jews, there couldn't be any more important activity than offering sacrifice to God, and Jesus says, drop it and go reconcile yourself to your brother. Go get that stuff out. God will wait. Covenants are promises. You give your word to do something or not to do something. So Jesus says, don't even swear by an oath. Don't even swear by your head or by saying by God or with heaven as my witness. Because when you do that, when you swear an oath, you imply that your word can't be trusted. If you have to promise, so help me God, What you're saying is, you can't believe me just giving you my word. So don't even do that. Just say, yes, I'll do that. No, I won't do that. And live up to your word. Now, we can't turn all of this into a new law, of course. These are our values that Jesus is teaching us. It's not right to force those things onto other people. I like the Catholic Church. I like Catholicism a lot. I don't like it when they push for divorce laws. Right? Try to change society so that people can't get divorced. That's not okay. Those are your values, not everyone else's. And making these teachings a law kind of defeats their very purpose, which is for us to want to do the right thing, not to have to do it. This is what we want from our kids, right? At first we teach them, you got to go clean your room because that's the rule, and you need to obey the rule. And later on, we try to get them, when they're a little older and understand a little better, to want to have a clean room. It doesn't work very well when they're 12 or 13, does it? It's like, yeah, no. So with all of this in mind, how do we apply any of this? Well, first, don't treat people like property. Commit to caring for the vulnerable, both people we're directly responsible for and others. Be good to the people in your family, be good to the people, your neighbors, and the rest of society. Take care of them. Uphold those covenants that are made with them. And then we can discipline ourselves to avoid those things that lead to trouble. You know, cops have this term, grass eaters. What a grass eater is the guy who, when you go to see the little old lady at her house, says, "Oh, here, have some cookies. Have a cup of coffee." And they say yes, right? Or they go to the store, the guy says, "Oh, here, have a soda. No problem." And they say yes. And those are the guys who get themselves into trouble later on, because they don't have very good boundaries to begin with. And then when somebody says, "Here, have some money," and look the other way, they say, "Okay." Right? Because they've prepared themselves for that. So, in the same way, we want to avoid doing those little things that lead to trouble down the line. This thing about abusive language is a good one. Right? You call somebody an idiot long enough, and they start to get the idea that they are an idiot. It's violence, not physical violence, but it's emotional violence. And we want to avoid that. Now, for somebody like me, right, we can get a little angry. I don't generally pop off at people in church, but, you know, online it's pretty easy to get abusive, right? Because you're not interacting with those people directly. That's a challenge. That's a real challenge. We all know this, right? Even when you're in the car and somebody cuts you off or speeds past you, what do you say? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting off my tail, right? Yeah, right? You say, beep, 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 right? That's the kind of thing we got to work on. And we have to decide that we are never finally done with another person. That means you can't dehumanize them. You have to stay in relationship, even though they're bugging you. Even though they're just driving you right up a wall, you have to stick in there with them. We have to see one another as God sees us. We have to keep those covenants in just the same way that God keeps his covenants with us. Amen.